But real quick, since I was talking about the Green Lantern project,
Mm-hmm.
just a quick plug. Get it. It's good, man. Get it on DVD specifically. Reason why I say that is because if you get it on DVD, you get a chance to see a Jon Stewart documentary, which features my film work in it, where I was a part of interviewing David Walker, filming David Walker's part in it. So throughout this 30-minute documentary, every time you see David Walker, that's me. That's me. I literally actually just recorded him in my living room. I disguised it well. It holds up with some people who went to studios. So just wanted to plug that. You got to get that Green Lantern, Beware My Power, and then Own It is a Jon Stewart documentary and the special features. So,
well, first of all, you do brilliant work anyway. And I was going to ask you about that. So how does it feel to have your work featured in Warner Brothers like that, in that kind of capacity?
It was exciting for me, man. I'm not going to lie. Like, some people might play it cool and be like, well, it's just a little thing on the feature. Listen, listen, I'm from the whole hood. Like, I'm not from part of it. I did not. So these are big things to people from where I'm from. These are not big things to, like, where I live now.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. That's just, oh, you did that. All my people was like, what? Like, this is a big deal and I think it's a big deal for people who believe in dreams.
Yeah.
If you still believe in dreams and if you never had a lot handed to you, to just see a person inching. So to me, it was a big deal because I know that it's inspiration for other people inching with me. Yeah. Because this is me saying yes and then seeing a glimpse of what it's going to be. So this ain't the completion. Like, I didn't get paid a lot of money for that. I'm still in this same spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't that kind of money. That wasn't, if I did some voiceover work or some on that main part of the DVD, it'd be a different story. Yeah. But in this particular case, it's the beginning, and it's me being able to say, all right, that's on the reel. This is on the resume. And I'm going to parlay that into, some momentum. Like, I'm not going to let the momentum die on that. I emailed the people from Warner Brothers who, hired me to do that little thing. And like, I love how y'all put it together. I'm still available, Like,
right.
It's like, it's going to be what it's going to be. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's part of a dream come true. I don't want to say it's a complete dream come true, but this is what we want to do, man. All of us, we want to do we grow up with DC and Marvel and Warner Brothers and all this stuff, and we don't see our name. We see, famous, funny people on it.
Yeah.
I've always been a credit reader, but there's never a face to a credit.
Right.
And so me and my son, we did this when we went to go see Thor the other day. We're sitting in the theater because Marvel makes you wait for the end, and we're sitting there like we're naming off names like as though we know them. We're like, oh look, there's John Jackson. There's Mike Brockenhauer. He was working on the camera this thing. Like, we're just like, because those people matter and they count in making something good, and they're skilled at what they do. So for me, it was a big deal because Jon Stewart, really, it's funny, my first documentary I made, that was one of something I had to insert into the documentary, because when I asked people who their favorite comic book character was, a lot of people said Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
And I remember like, oh, this is a character I know nothing about. But I remember like having a Green Lantern shirt. Knew nothing.
Yeah.
Green Lantern was
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Like, that's my impression of Green Lantern.
Yeah.
When I found out Green Lantern, a lot of people's Green Lantern is a black man, and his backstory has a lot of nuance. I kind of actually low key, I know he disappeared once he came on the scene, but I kind of like his backstory, who he is, way better than other characters. I love Luke Cage, but I kind of gotta go. If you had a Luke Cage versus Jon Stewart.
Yeah. I think because of who was writing it, and then there's also like a lot of people, they know Jon Stewart mainly from the Justice League animated series. Mm-hmm. And so they got a chance to kind of walk with him. And since you have people like Dwayne McDuffie and others that didn't write the story to bring attention to anything in particular, but just let you see how he moves and how he acts and how he reacts, to kind of give more of who he is as a person than to say, hey, I'm the big tough guy, or I'm the womanizer. It was nothing like that. It was just kind of like, you saw how he was when he interacted with different characters. You saw how Batman respected him. You saw how Hawk Girl, even though they kind of got into it before. You saw how she reacted to him being a warrior. You know, his aspects of him was reflected in the others that he dealt with. And that said so much more than being a hotshot fighter pilot in the Air Force. And, you know, he got the ring because he looks good and he got this square jawline. No. With Jon Stewart, it was pretty much, he was like somebody that was a family member because you got a chance to see him in that way, which I thought was the best presentation. It was that animated series, I think, that really just connected with everybody to the point where when it came out with the movie with Ryan Reynolds, my nephew was like, so who's this white Green Lantern? Who's this?
People don't, between all of those tie-ins, it's like, and who was the guy who played the voice? Because he's one of the most iconic voice actors. And I have a somewhat funny story about him. He was just hosting the Eisners.
Because he's from Mad TV.
Phil Lamar. Yeah. So I went to go shake Phil Lamar's hand, and he looked me dead in the eye and said, hey, what's going on, buddy?
My name is Jon Stewart, Green Lantern.
Like, the hand was just there. I just kind of had to do one of those, just tuck it back in, like, kind of things, and just kept it moving. I was like, all right, that's cool.
You went to shake and what happened?
I went to shake his hand. I put my hand forward and I was like, hey, how you doing, sir? He was like, hey, how you doing, buddy? And it just turned the other way.
Okay.
I had it just dangling in the wind. I had to put it up. I was like, all right, that's cool. But, you know, I don't credit that to anything other than monkeypox and COVID.
And fandom. Because you don't know what that turns into. Because you be thinking you're going for a handshake and somebody could just be trying to full embrace hug you or what. You just don't know. People levels are all over the place. So it's almost better to seem like a jerk than to, you know, turn to something else. Because you just don't know.
He looked me right back in the eye and said hello. It wasn't like he just was like, I'm ignoring you. Right. So like, I don't say that as a like, oh, Phil Lamar is a jerk. I think I'll get a chance to meet him again. And when I do, I think we'll be able to have a deeper conversation. But when it comes to top 2 greatest voice actors of all time for my generation, him, and do you know who number 1 is?
Kevin Conroy as Batman?
No, it's out of superhero realm, and you're gonna feel like, wow, why didn't I say this?
James Earl Jones?
No, but you are now testing me to make me, you're trying to put me to shame. But no, I still stand strong. Greatest voice actor of all times. And I use, because you're supposed to just say actors, a woman is involved in this. I'm just going to tell you, Cree Summers.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Cree Summers, greatest of all time.
Of course. She's one of my favorite.
Gracious, puppy. If you wanted a bath, you should have said so.
Brain, I'm at the bridge. The ice factory is just above me. Where are you?
Bright light, like a star, floating above the city. My father said it called my mother to it. I never saw her again.
How about a bumpin' soundtrack to juice up this gamma whomping? The crystal is the heart of the blade. The heart is the crystal of the Jedi.
Call me Webb, Madam Webb.
My friends call me Black Arachnia. Nice work, Optimus. Now let's get out of here before the rest of those Energon cubes know the 4th flavor is out there. And someday, I'm gonna taste it. Bye. Hi, my name's Susie. What's yours?
Tommy.
Hi, Tommy. Want me to show you our new house?
You don't think?
I did. But now I know the truth.
From her stuff on Tiny Toons, Elmira, she was on Batman Beyond. And I wish that they would have made her a version of a Robin, but they didn't. Yeah. In Batman Beyond, then on Ben 10. I love her work.
Which Dwayne McDuffie was Ben 10. You know, like, so that brings the conversation even back to Milestone.
So that was our conversation about Dru's experience being part of the new Jon Stewart documentary. Stay tuned for our conversation where we discuss Cree Summers and other hip-hop theories.